All right, so you want to dig into Adaptation, huh? This 2002 film, it's, well, despite Jonze, it definitely went all out. You're looking for the good stuff, right? Not just surface level. Well, we've got you covered. Academic papers, a dash of Roger Ebert's brilliance, even some Wikipedia wisdom thrown in. We're going deep on this one. This isn't just about the movie itself. It's how it all came to be, how it messes with our heads about what's real and what's not.
Oh, yeah. Adaptation has this way of getting under your skin. People still can't stop talking about it. I think it really captures the anxieties of being an artist, of trying to create something meaningful.
Yeah, and it does it in a way that just makes your head spin. Imagine taking your worst writer's block, all those insecurities, and turning them into a movie. That's Charlie Kaufman, the screenwriter.
That's where the genius of this whole thing starts. It blurs the line between what's real and what's made up, See, the main character, he's Charlie Kaufman too, and he's trying to adapt this real book, The Orchid Thief. It's like we're watching the making of the movie we're watching.
Whoa. Okay, back up a sec. So we have Charlie, our screenwriter, trying to adapt this book about, well, orchids. Orchids are cool and all, but how do you make a movie about that?
Exactly, and the film really gets into that struggle. The book is all internal, these journeys of obsession. It's not like explosions and car chases, which really bugs Charlie in the film. He doesn't want to fall back on those played out Hollywood tropes.
So no tacked on love stories or action scenes. Got to respect that. He wants to honor the spirit of the book.
And that's a dilemma for any artist, right? Do you stay true to your vision, even if it means less people see it? Or do you sell out a little for the masses?
Man, I feel that. We've all been there. You want to pour your heart into something, but sometimes you got to make compromises.
Totally. And Adaptation throws in another wrench in the mix with Donald, Charlie's twin brother, also a screenwriter. But he's all about those Hollywood formulas.
The king of the blockbuster. Raking in cash, but sacrificing the art. Exactly what Charlie hates.
It gets kind of satirical here. Donald's big hit is this ridiculous thriller called The Three. Predictable, one-dimensional, exactly the kind of movie Charlie disguises.
It's like Kaufman's calling out Hollywood, right? Showing how ridiculous these formulaic movies are, but also maybe wondering if he can escape that trap himself. And this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah, he takes that battle and throws it right into the script. It's wild. As Charlie gets deeper into the Orchid Thief, the movie itself starts to, unravel. It's like we're watching him write the movie and it's all falling apart.
Yeah, and then out of nowhere, Adaptation takes this sharp turn. It's like, bam, drug deals, car chases in the swamps, even a freaking alligator attack, all this crazy stuff that Charlie hates about Hollywood movies.
Exactly, and that's Jonze, man. He's a genius. He's using those over-the-top elements to say something about Hollywood, how they try to force everything into a box, even when it doesn't fit. And The Orchid Thief, the book, it just doesn't fit, and neither does this movie, ironically.
Whoa. So we have Charlie's struggle, which is like Kaufman's struggle. And then the movie itself, it's both playing into those Hollywood tropes and blowing them up at the same time. No wonder people were confused.
Even Roger Ebert, he was like, this movie messed with me. He said it felt like it was fighting against being categorized.
Which makes me think about what you said before. Adaptation isn't just about, like, orchids or screenplays. There's this whole other layer, this idea of obsession.
Totally. You've got John LaRoche, the orchid thief. He's totally consumed with finding this rare ghost orchid, breaks the law, risks his relationships, all for this flower.
And then there's Charlie, our screenwriter, holed up, going crazy, trying to write this perfect screenplay.
And that's where Adaptation gets really real. It's about that dark side of passion. Right. When does your drive to create become self-destructive,
Yeah, both Charlie and LaRoche, they're so focused on this one thing, they lose sight of everything else. It's like a warning.
And it brings us back to that big question. What does it even mean to adapt something? Can you really capture the essence of a book or anything in a different medium? Or is it always going to be something new, something the artist creates through their own lens?
So then, like, if every adaptation is already its own thing, its own interpretation, where does that leave us? The audience, I mean.
See, that's the real mind bender, right? Adaptation makes us think about how we experience art. Like, if every interpretation is valid, then what we bring to it, how we see the movie, that's all part of its meaning.
So it's not just sitting there watching the screen. We're part of this whole conversation, figuring it out as we go.
Exactly. And the ending, well, I won't spoil it, but it's like Kaufman saying, here's the pieces, you make sense of it.
Which, gotta say, I kind of love that. Makes you want to keep thinking about it, even after it's over.
That's the sign of a great film, right? It sparks these conversations, makes you question things.
Totally. So someone's listening to us. They're about to watch Adaptation. What's the one thing you'd tell them going in?
Don't try to force it, Just go along for the ride. And pay attention to how it makes you feel. Even the weird stuff, those reactions, that's all part of it. That's what makes this movie so great, so thought-provoking.
It's an experience, not just a movie. And who knows, maybe you'll want to make your own adaptation after. Could be a story, a song, anything. Like we were talking about, every interpretation, it's a new creation. And that's what's so cool about art, right? It keeps evolving. Thanks for diving deep into adaptation with us. This movie, it stays with you, makes you want to keep those creative juices flowing. Until next time, keep those minds open and don't be afraid to embrace the weird.